proposed agreement on the extraction of oil, I have received a reply. Well, the reply is not very extensive, not very elaborate. I can understand the position of the department as well as the government. But, Speaker Sir, this is a very serious matter. It pertains to the economy of our state, number one. It also pertains to the historical rights of the Naga people. We have discussed, elaborated enough on the 371A about the land and its resources belongs to the people. Who are the people? The Naga people. Now, the Naga story is such that it's a long story where we don't want to narrate every now and then. But if you see the 1914 McMahon line, when the boundary demarcation took place between India and Tibet, then from there on, the Naga areas have been dissected without our consent. Coming back to the 1925 notification, which the government of Assam is relying on it, and the Nagaland government, from the Naga people, we have been rejecting this from the beginning. I was looking for some documents. Yesterday, I happened to visit my president, Dr. Shuruzal Elizetsu, and I was asking whether he has any old documents in his archive. He has given me one book. This is a collection by O. Gatibri, the father-in-law of our Honorable Chief Minister. He was also one time a very prominent officer in the state, a very thoughtful officer. He has collected a lot of documents. I just wanted to reflect some of these views so that whatever we take decisions, it should be for the posterity to remember us so that we don't commit mistakes. This is one document which I was just flipping through. This was written sometime in August 1965 by B. Shilo Abu, Chief Minister, Nagaland. Those days. It's a top secret DO letter. The recent incidents along the border and the manner of action taken by your government with the help of armed police forces, destroying standing groups and Kedi huts. Each area is cultivated by the villagers of Wamukong, Liriman, Merinoktau, and Merabani areas have created a situation causing great anxiety to the people. I'll come back to the last note, the relevant portion. These areas were declared as reserve forests by the then government of Assam within the boundary of the erstwhile Naga Hills. Because in those days, there was no Naga district as such, we were part of Assam. So all these forests were transferred to Assam without our knowledge. And this all belongs to us. As there was only one forest department, those reserve forests declared inside Naga Hills, who were also administered by the same forest department, meaning to say that since there is only one forest department means the government of Assam controls our site also. Since 1946, when the Naga people realized and became politically conscious, they have claimed very rightly that these areas added to Sabsagar and Nagaland district as their land by right and have never accepted the 1925 notification. So from this letter, this is the Chief Minister's letter, a top secret letter, saying that we have not accepted the 1925 letter. Then after that, there was a lot of problem in the border. Those borders were declared as disputed area belt. Actually, those are not disputed. Those are our land. But those were disputed. It was labeled as disputed area belt. And how I have narrated on the first day of the session, how the Assam Maintenance of Law and Order, this Assam Maintenance of Disturbed Area Act 1955, the Armed Forces Special Powers Act were extended to these areas. This is a letter written by Chief Minister Mr. T.N. Angami to my dear Prime Minister. That time Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. 1967, 17/6/1967. So he has very categorical mention in that. I will only read out the relevant portion, how it has impacted us. The government Disturbed Area Act 1935 and the Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been extended to all these disputed areas. Disputed areas means which now the reply has come about that disputed area. For another year. No doubt, the avowed purpose of this act is to secure the law and order situation in these areas, but the government of India and the state government of Nagaland cannot lose sight of the fact that these legislations are enforced in all the disputed order areas. So all these laws were enacted, extended to the Naga areas, especially at that point of time in the disputed area plans. This is how the laws have been imposed, but from 65 onwards, the chief ministers of our state have been involving, writing a letter to the Prime Minister that we cannot accept this artificial line 1925 border. Now, in the ongoing tripartite and bipartite discussion which is going on, if we are to agree on this, we will be sacrificing a lot of our land that ancestrally, historically, originally belongs to us, Speaker sir. Because all these forests, all these areas were declared as our land, reserve forest area. And therefore, at the first instance, what I would like to put across is we have to have, I demand that the reserve forest should be given back to us, as our Honorable CM was expressing on the other day when we were talking about the Forest Conservation Act 2023 amendment. The forest reserve which were transferred to the state of Assam should be given back to us. The forest department, the border affairs department has worked out some paper which I have just come across. According to this record, there are category 1, 2 reserve forests. Category 1, we have the Grang Ming Reserve Forest, Langting Moba Reserve Forest, which is also called Kachar Reserve Forest. In category 2, we have about Nambor, Aber Taikarung, Dover Taikorong, Kalaini Reserve Forest, Mikir Hills, Dipu, Ringma Reserve Forest. In category 3, we have Tal Tali, Tanseri, Langting, Lamting, Sisema, Kaki, Keliki, Diru, Kakadangwa Reserve Forest. In category 4, we have Diswe, Doyang Reserve Forest. These are the reserve forests which is historically clear, which belongs to us. Now, all this so-called disputed area belt, which now the negotiation is going on with the government of Assam for the extraction of oil. All this falls within the disputed area belt, Speaker sir. They declared it disputed area belt. But these are not actually, we should say from our perspective, from the Naga perspective, that these are not disputed areas, this belongs to the Naga people. I remember when I was president in 2004, there was a blockade by Assam Students Union. So I went to negotiate with them and we tore the border area. We came back to Merabani and we had a public rally. There was a huge gathering. So I was addressing in front of the whole Assam Students Union office bearers. A huge gathering turned up. You see, you think that these are all original Assam. These are all illegal immigrants. The illegal immigrants were pushed to this reserve forest and they have occupied our land. That was the policy of the government of Assam from the beginning. And therefore, all this, I was telling them, original homes are a great friend of the Nagas. For you, original ones, I will even give you a land in my village. But these are all illegal immigrants. We have to push them together. We have to push them out. And Assam is facing the brunt more. So therefore, these land which are now occupied by the illegal immigrants, the government of Nagaland, we have to tell straight to their nose, to their face, to the government of Assam that no, these are not the original Ahoms, Assamese. The illegal immigrants supported, pushed by the government of Assam. And we will not allow this. We will not consider it as a disputed area. We will claim that. Now, coming back to that, I think that position has to be first stated, that before we strike a deal of royalty sharing, of entering into the agreement. First thing first, let us discuss on the position of the land, the history of the land. Then we have to come back to the striking of deal. Now, as far as Jambang field, which I have asked is concerned, government is saying that it doesn't fall under disturbed area belt. It is a very good reply. It falls under the Kabadonga Reserve Forest. Now, if that is the position, then since this first oil field at Jambang Tori area was inaugurated in 1973 by the then Geology and Mining Minister, Mr. J.B. Jasubi, there is the oils are still just leaking, the oil split in the Jambang area. It's readily available to extract. I would suggest that the government of the day enter proper modalities with the landowners, and if we can initiate in exploring the oil extraction in Jambang area, it will boost our economy, and for that matter, the people will be willing to cooperate if the government can approach in the right manner. This is what I would like to put across, Speaker sir.
Speaker sir. The questioner has given us a long history about Nagas. We are thankful to him. They have not specifically asked any supplementary, so I wanted to give a general reply. Naga has a long history. We had a long struggle, Naga movement. And the history of the Nagas, as the other day I read what you are reading about reserves forest, which were under Kohima district. Those are disputed area, which the 16-point agreement also demanded that it should be transferred to Nagaland, Naga Hills. But over the years, all those forest area, because of tea growers, they had encroached, and everything was under the control of Assam. That's why slowly, gradually, the document you are talking about is which year, what tea garden, in what forest, everything is there, were transferred to Assam because they don't want to come to Kohima, DC and pay tax. But 16-point agreement, it has made a mention, integration of Naga contiguous area and the forest area. I think in the list is about 16 or so. Yesterday, the other day I read. So, the issue of integration of Naga contiguous area is still in negotiation. Divide and rule policy. How Nagas of Nagaland, we are talking about this. There are Nagas in Manipur, there are Nagas in Assam, there are Nagas in Arunachal, there are big group Nagas in Myanmar. How the international boundary was demarcated in between Government of India and that time Burma, now Myanmar. So the policy of divide and rule has divided us. It continued to divide us. Our Naga national workers, they are thoroughly divided. And today, even overgrounds, we state leaders divide policy is going on. That's why we are concerned, and for that, the regional government had brought out that we should keep our motto as unity with Mithun symbol, Government of Nagaland. If you see in our logo, our writing pad, except Governor, we all use that. And so our histories are very clear, but over the years, we are bogged down with our issue and so much division, and we become weaker and weaker, and our neighbors have become stronger and stronger. You are talking about those forests, we must take it back. But the township has come up in all those areas. Habitation already occupied. We are only talking. I'm not accusing you, but say example, in all the foothills bordering disputed area belt, in some small portions we occupied. In some, it was under our occupation, but our people giving on lease to others to cultivate, to build tea gardens, and then collecting taxes. Later on, some land, our land was sold to the Assamese people, the companies. And others, they realized that Nagaland is busy with their own affairs, so we'll go and make pata with Assam. So they made pata in Assam, and they had set up villages. They have recognized there is occupational right. The law of the land says occupational right also. That's why we cannot sweeping statement that all those forests should be taken back. I think today's situation, we cannot do that. Even say, example, Merapani, it's not a war, but Merapani fight. Our Jawans, our VGs from eastern regions, we have come and fought. And we defeated them. We occupied the whole area. And after eating, the dogs and cows all gone back home. And today all those areas are occupied by Assamese. What are we doing? So, in some, we are occupying, but the vast majority is under the control, and the so-called neutral forces, the CRPF, are monitoring, controlling that disputed area. And their command is under Assam. And that's why they will check us. But maybe they are facilitating the other side. And therefore we have lost a huge area. And even if we go to court, occupational right will intervene, That's why over the years, subsequent chief ministers, including myself, I had discussed with Mr. Sakia, I had discussed with Mr. Sanowal, I had discussed with Himanta Biswa Sharma, and in all our discussion, except Sakia, the chief minister, he said, no, it is in Supreme Court, let Supreme Court give judgment. But Sonowal and Himanta said, no, let us settle outside the court our boundaries. And both sides, the indigenous people should come and see and decide. Some of your Assamese villages, my Assamese villages or Naga villages may be on Assam side, or their villages can be on our Nagaland state side. But we are neighbors, we are one people, one country, so it should not matter. On that line, we had talk, and also we discussed about sharing of petroleum products royalties. And with the intervention of Home Minister, 50-50 was also agreed, but as Honorable Member has stated, the Naga groups, they have come out objecting, and also the civil societies and tribal hosts has gone against it. So we have no intention to confront with our own people. And therefore, I feel that we should settle early, or if we feel that political settlement will be more beneficial, then we'll continue to wait. Because Nagas, everybody speaks their mind, and all the people are giving their views, but actually, collectively, we have to take up an issue and get it resolved. Today, I think it will be a far-fetched to dream and talk and giving sweeping remarks. Instead, let us be more practical, update ourselves. And as we have come together on Naga issue, if Naga issue is resolved, all others, one by one, it can be resolved. Even border issues can be resolved. But I think how much efforts we give, things are not going as we desire. And therefore, it is good that we debate, we should discuss. But it is high time, I agree, we should start our oil and natural gas. We should exploit our minerals. If we do that, we'll get a lot of revenues, royalties for our own state. Then we don't have to be a parasites. We can do anything what we want to do with our own money. Many states in the country, they don't ask anything from the central government. Instead, they pay tax and contribute to the central exchequer. So it is time. I used to comment, we have very rich minerals, we have huge deposit of oil and natural gas. The other day we discussed, we have plenty, abundant, but Assam is trying to supply gas line to Kohima and after Kohima to Imphal because we are not exploiting. So they are trying to sell it to us, make money from us and also take to Imphal. That's why I used to comment that Nagaland we are rich, but we remain poor because we don't want to exploit anything of our resources.